Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about addiction. How does it happen, how to quit that, and how to identify which habit of our life is getting converted into addiction. Please stay tuned till the end because I'm going to discuss few steps that will really help you in letting go of your addiction and in improving your life to a better scale. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Maitri Shah and I'm here to share with you everything that I learned from my experiences through reading books and through listening stories. In order to know more about me, please follow me on the linked social media platforms and also please hit the subscribe button so that we can stay connected. Let's first of all understand what is the meaning of addiction. So the dictionary meaning of addiction is a fact or a condition of being dependent on a particular substance, thing or an activity. Now, does this remind you of any particular activity or thing in your life to which you are very much addicted? When we say the term addiction, what we generally mean is addiction to smoking, drinking, drugs or certain kind of bad habits. But this does not stop here. It is also about the activities that we perform in our day-to-day lives, and we know that these things are not good for our daily routine, but then we are addicted to it. And these addictions could be playing extensively on your phone, scrolling your social media platforms for hours and hours, watching TV till late night, binging on all the web series, then also falling in relationship traps again and again, stealing at home or stealing at anywhere, or lying to friends and family. All these kinds of habits also substitute to addiction. So when we start performing certain kind of habits in our daily course, we actually don't realize that we are getting addicted to it because we find pleasure in it, and we often confuse pleasure with happiness. The thing is that when you get addicted to something, you actually start feeling temporary satisfaction from it, and which is not even a form of happiness because it's going to last only for a certain amount of time. But just because you're addicted to it, you feel a lot happiness and you feel pleasures of world in that particular time. Now let's talk about a person who is addicted to smoking. If you ever happen to ask them why do they smoke so much, then they would just say that it helps them reduce their stress, which is actually partially true, and I would say it is not even true, because nicotine present in cigarettes help them release their stress for a certain amount of time, and it eventually increases their tension and anxiety. But if you tell this truth to them, I'm sure they won't believe you, because they are more happy about the byproduct formed from smoking, and that is a temporary happiness or a temporary stress relief. Now if we talk about a person who is addicted to stealing, it's very simple, because they find happiness in the money earned from stealing, and so they prefer stealing over working hard because they feel it's very easy, and they also don't even think about the time when they will be actually caught because it least matters to them. Now let's talk about people who are addicted to relationships. So I'm not saying that they have multiple relationships at a time, but what happens is even after one breakup or even after 2 or 3 breakups, they tend to fall into relation after relation because they find pleasure in that temporary relationship, and they don't even realize that now it's too late for them to find a relation which will actually last long. So it's like realizing something after it has all happened, ended, and it's never going to turn back the pages of life. Now let's talk about a very booming thing that is happening right now, and that is either you are playing extensively on your phone or getting addicted to your social media platforms and just scrolling on your phone for hours and hours. Now we all need a break in our daily routine. We all have to release our stress, we all have to find happiness, and that can be in the form of scrolling your phone or playing games on your phone. But this should never be an excuse to your other activities. And especially talking about students, what happens is when you get addicted to a game, saying that okay, I'll play a game for 15-20 minutes and then I'll get back to studies, this thing actually never happens, because when you start playing a game and when you don't have that focus, you tend to play that game for hours and hours because you have used that particular 15-20 minutes for an excuse for your studies. So you won't even realize when hours will pass by and your study time will be then converted into your gaming time, and this particular habit will keep on increasing day by day. So if you observe your habit of playing game or scrolling on your phone, then you would realize that actually every single day of your life you're doing the same thing. You're trying to give an excuse to yourself and you're playing or doing something on your phone, and then just letting your time go off and not even realizing the importance of your gone time. Now we'll have to first differentiate which habit of our life is resulting into a good addiction or a bad addiction. A good addiction can be reading books, going for a walk, or doing some activity like sports activities in your spare time, and the bad activity could be using your entire time on your phone scrolling on your social media platforms. Now, even in order to differentiate this, we have to first dive deep into our mind. We have to first understand what things give us happiness and what's the way that we actually want to use our time. And in order to understand this, I have posted a video about how to train your subconscious mind. So I'm going to drop the link in my description. Do watch that. I'm sure it will help you to understand your mindset. So everything is in our hands. It's all about how we want to train our mind and how do we want to shape our life. So I'm going to talk about 3 simple steps that if you follow regularly, I'm sure you'll be able to get rid of your addiction. The first step is to identify which habit of your life you're performing on a daily basis, like which is that particular habit. Starting from today, for the next 7 days, just observe your one habit which you're performing on a daily basis and which you actually want to get rid of it, and which is actually taking a lot of your time of your day. So do start noting that habit in a book and observe that habit for next 7 days. Now the next step is to identify the timing of your activity. So when a person is bound to smoking, I'm sure that person performs or does smoking on a regular time on a daily basis. So for you, the next step is to identify the timing of that activity. It's fine if you have a difference of an hour or so every day, but I'm sure you'll be having a time interval, say after lunch, after dinner, in between your game time. You might be performing that activity on a daily basis at a certain time interval. You have to note that time every single day for next 7 days. Now the last step is the toughest of all, but I'm sure if you follow this step slowly and steadily, you'll be able to get rid of your addiction. So now if you have followed first and second step, I'm sure you might have noted down which activity you're performing and what's the time of that activity. So now let's assume that you're playing a game on your phone every day at 10 p.m. Now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to set a reminder at 9:50 or 9:55 for next 30 days, and you have to set a reminder, say play a sports game or stand in a balcony or read a book at 9:50 p.m. Now initially when you will be seeing this reminder for say for 5 or 6 days, I'm sure you will not be doing that activity which you have actually mentioned in the reminder. But when you keep on seeing that particular reminder every single day, one day you will realize that let me just read a book today, or let me just stand in my balcony today and not play a game, or let me just play badminton with my friend and not play a game on my phone. This thing will happen if you keep on having that reminder daily for next 30 days. So here what we are trying to do is we are trying to get rid of a bad addiction and we are trying to adopt a new addiction. So this transition will happen slowly only if we keep on trying, because it takes time. It is said that it takes 21 days to develop a new habit and it takes 66 days to actually let that habit install in our system. So all we have to do is we have to have that reminder for next 66 days, but if you see a transition happening in your life in 30 days, then it's fine, but I would still recommend to have that reminder for next 66 days. What happens is when we keep on seeing that reminder every day, our mind will one day trigger an emotion. It will be like, let me try something different today. What if by standing in a balcony at 10 p.m. it might make me feel a lot more happier? Let me just try that out. And even if you just spend 15 minutes of your time in balcony, and even if after that you do your same old habit, or if you do smoking, or if you play on your phone, it's fine, because you have at least reduced 15 minutes of your that time to something else. And these things will slowly and steadily show some result in your life only if you keep on following it, only if you have that reminder daily for next 30 days or 66 days, whatever is better for you. I would also recommend to have that reminder every day for next 66 days. So now, having talked about 3 simple steps, I really hope that you try these steps out, and I really hope that you get rid of your addiction and you start developing some better habits. Remember, it's not easy to develop a new habit, but it's also not impossible to develop a new habit, and it's better to realize that something that you are doing in our daily life is not actually good, and we must get rid of it, and we must develop an addiction which is actually good and beneficial for our life. I hope that this video helps you in improving your life. If you find my content helpful and useful, do please give me a like and also drop a comment below. It will really mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe and also hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you. Stay tuned.